So follow my little drawing here in your mind. On the right-hand side, you have, on this graph that you could lay out, on the right-hand side, you have servicing the business. In the middle, you have operating a business. And on the left-hand side, you have generating the business or lead gen. So generating the lead, operating the business, servicing the business. And when you bring a junior agent in, this is sort of a low level thing, but the first thing you do is you teach them to show a house. And then the second thing you do is you teach them to list a house. And then the third thing you teach them to do is attend a closing. And of course, I'm generalizing, I'm overgeneralizing, but the very first thing you teach people to do is show a house, list a house, close a house. That is all part of servicing the actual business. As a good mentor, coach, leader, trainer like you are with all of these people who've come through your organization, you say to them stuff like, okay, let me show you how to pay some bills. Let me show you how to put away some money for taxes. Let me show you how to, some of the back end operation works so that now that you're making these pig checks, you can have your life set up so that you can pay your bills and pay taxes. And so you sort of start to show them the glimpses of what I call behind the curtain. And I think some team leaders do this well. They're very transparent. They open up the curtain to their team and say, look behind the curtain here, see the operation, so that you can figure out how to manage your money. And then what happens is they kind of say like, okay, I paid my taxes and I have an LLC set up and I got my business going. And they say, but how am I supposed to do it again? And you say, let me show you, to make you a jungle animal, which is you go and generate your own leads, market to your people so that you can retain them and generate leads, which you and I could agree, lead generation is the hardest part of the business. And that's why Zillow is now charging 40 or 45% for Zillow Flex leads. Because in fact, at 50% to generate a lead and market those people, call it 40% to generate the lead, 10% to produce the marketing it requires to get to the lead, is 50% of the business, which leaves this little 5 to 25% gap in the middle that is the operational cost of the business. What happens is over here you have baby birds. Baby birds show houses. And in your case, they're farm animals or junior agents. And all of a sudden they get to be a hawk. And my friend James Nellis told me that sometimes they get to what one would describe as BBS.
Yes, I love it.
Talk about what BBS is and what happens when people get to BBS. And I think all of us get to BBS in our own roles. And so how do you fight against, what is BBS and how do you fight against it?